Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Azza Shafia binti Muhammad Hanafi from Group A for AS12018. Today I will talk about chemical reactions. What is chemical reactions? Chemical reaction is a process in which one or more substances, the reactant, are converted to one or more different substances, the product. Substances are either chemical elements or compounds. A chemical reaction rearranges the constituent atoms of the reactant to create different substances as a product. This is the historical overview of chemical reactions. The concept of chemical reaction dates back about years ago. It had its origin in early experiments that classified substances as elements and compounds. Development of the concept of chemical reaction had a primary role in defining the science of chemistry as it's known today. Next, I'm going to tell you about the basic concept of chemical reactions. Chemical reactions are an integral part of technology, of culture, and indeed of itself. This is the example of activities: burning fuels, smelting irons, making glass and pottery, brewing beers, making wine and cheese. These examples of activities have been known and used for thousands of years. Chemical reaction must be distinguished by physical change. If a physical change occurs, the physical properties of substance will remain the same. I provide you the example. The example is water. Ice is melting to water and water evaporating to vapor. No matter what its physical state, water is the same compound with each molecule composed of two atoms hydrogen and one atom of oxygen. If water as ice, liquid, and vapor encounters sodium metal, the atoms will be redistributed to give the new substances molecular hydrogen and sodium hydroxide. By this, we know that a chemical change or reaction has occurred. The other example is the reaction of methane. Methane is a major component of natural gas with molecular oxygen to produce carbon dioxide and water, and the chemical reaction is methane plus two molecules of oxygen equal to carbon dioxide plus two molecule of water. The equation is balanced because the same number of atoms of each element appears on both sides of the equations. The ratio of reactants and product in a chemical reaction is called chemical stoichiometry. It is depends on the fact that matter is conserved in chemical processes and calculating giving mass relationship based on the concept of the mole. Next, I will tell you about the energy considerations. Energy plays a key role in chemical processes. According to a modern view of chemical reactions, bonds between atoms in the reactant must be broken and the atom or pieces of molecule are reassembled into product by forming new bonds. There are two types of energy considerations, which is endothermic and exothermic. Endothermic. What is endothermic? Endothermic is the process to requiring the absorption of heat. Exothermic is the process to evolve the heat. Here is the explanations of endothermic and exothermic. Endothermic. In some reactions, the energy required to break bonds is larger than the energy evolved of making new bonds, and the net result is absorption of energy. Such reaction is said to be endothermic if the energy is in the form of heat. Exothermic. The formation of compounds from the constituent elements is almost always exothermic. For example, the formations of water from molecular hydrogens and oxygen and the formation of metal oxide such as calcium metal and oxygen gas. Next, kinetic considerations. Chemical reactions commonly need an initial input of energy to begin the process, although the combustion of wood, paper, or ethane is an exothermic process. A burning match or a spark is indeed to initiate these reactions. The energy supplied by a match arises from an exothermic as chemical reactions that is itself initiated by the frictional heat generated by rubbing the match on the suitable surface. In some reactions, the energy to initiate a reaction can be provided by light. Numerous reactions in Earth's atmosphere are photochemical, or light-driven reactions initiated by solar radiations. One example in the transformation of ozone is oxygen in the troposphere. The absorption of ultraviolet light (HV) from the sun to initiate these reactions prevents potentially harmful high-energy radiation from reaching Earth's surface. This is the classifications by type of product. I give you example is gas-forming reactions. Many reactions produce a gas such as carbon dioxide, hydrogen sulfide, ammonia, or sulfur dioxide. An example of gas-forming reactions is that which occurs when a metal carbonate such as calcium carbonate, the chief component of limestone, seashells, and marble is mixed with hydrochloric acid to produce carbon dioxide. As you can see, I provide you chemical equations. In these equations, the symbol AQ signifies that a compound is in aqueous or water solutions. And this is the classification by types of reactants. I give you example oxidation reductions reactions. Involve the transfer of one or more electrons from a reducing agent to an oxidizing agent. This has the effect in reducing the real or appearance electric charge on an atom in the substance being reduced of and increasing the real or apparent electric charge of an atom in the substance being oxidized. Simple redox reaction include the reactions of elements with oxygens. For example, magnesium burn in oxygen to form magnesium oxide. The reaction occurs with each magnesium atom giving up two electrons and being oxidized, and each oxygen atom accepting two electrons and being reduced. The conclusion of chemical reaction is chemical reaction is a process in which one or more reactants are converted into products. There are four types of chemical reactions and can be classified in different ways. In one, they can be classified either as oxidation reduction or non-oxidation reaction. Then we learn that all chemical reactions may be endothermic and exothermic. Endothermic absorb heat and exothermic release heat. I provide you the reference. That's all from me. Thank you so much.